Hey guys, it's RCK, and I'll be bringing you back another one of our review videos for Magic the Gathering, the Midnight Hunt set. Today we're going to be going over the red part of the series. Uh, so far things, I think we have some cool things that's going to be in this, and of course I'm joined by Officer Waffles again, so I'll let him introduce himself.
What's going on, guys? I'm back again to help RCK with this new review on the red section. I agree with him, though. I think it's going to be quite interesting. We've already got some new cards showing up in this, at least from this first row we're looking at. So I'm excited, man. I'm ready to get into this. How about you?
Of course, of course. So looking at the first card here, we have Abandon the Post. I see we do have a werewolf in this. Normally enough, the colors green and red always had to deal with werewolves. So hopefully we see some nice werewolves in here, of course. This is a sorcery speed for 2 mana cost, 1 colorless, 1 red. It says up to 2 target creatures cannot block this turn, and this card also has flashback. What do you think about this,
See,
Waffles?
I love to know. It's good to see the flashback mechanic coming in
Yeah.
hard, strong still, even though we're moved into red now. Because I thought it was going to solely be in blue, but now we're seeing it in red. Guys, I'm going to tell you, I'm usually not big on red cards. I'm not a fan of red as far as Magic goes. I just don't use it that much. But I will say, I'm slowly but surely starting to like the things red does. It's just I've got to get back in and using it. As far as this card goes, Abandon the Post, so it's not bad for, with 2 mana, make 2 creatures unblockable, and it has a flashback. I mean, if you're swinging out, especially if you're playing red green, I mean, green already has big creatures, so I mean, you think this actually could be, a game ending card depending on how you play it, depending on what a person's life total is. I mean, swing in with 2 unblockable creatures that are
Well,
max.
no, it's up to 2 target creatures can't block.
Oh, 2 cards can't
Yeah,
block. Well, that changes things.
change it.
That
But
changes things.
what you could do, you could play 6 mana and make 4 creatures can't block this turn. So
All right,
that
you
might be
could.
someone's
You
whole
could.
board.
That could be someone's whole board. And I mean, if that's the case, then you're still gonna swing out for a good, nice chunk
Big
of
chunk.
damage that I honestly might can end the game. But I don't know. I don't know if I care for it as much. It's only just block. It makes 2 creatures on your opponent's side.
I don't
Can't block.
particularly like it too
I
much.
don't care for it too much, honestly. I mean, I like the fact it has a flashback cost because you could pop it off at a different interval and maybe it come in handy. But I'm just not feeling it as much.
Mm.
I don't think it's one I'll pick up myself personally. Not really, not really. The next up we have is Arden Elementus, and she is going to be a 3 colors red drop creature human shaman. When she enters the battlefield, return target instant sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. So I love her ability because I love anything that's going to let me get instants and sorceries back from the graveyard. Because I'm the type of person I tend to use them up as soon as I get them. But I will say for 4/2/1 with disability, I don't know if I want to pay
I
4 mana.
completely agree with you. I felt that the mana cost of this card was way too high.
Yes, yes, I did not like that at all. That's the only thing I don't like about this card. Everything else I'm okay with, but that mana cost, guys. There's just other things. There's just other ways we could go about spending 4 mana other than this card. Like just other things I could do. So it's gonna be a pass for me on Arden Elementus. I don't think I will be playing her like that, not in my opinion. Next up, we do have a card I am excited for. I think this is going to be cool because so far in the last 3 reviews we've done, adversaries have come out to play and show off in this set. So we have Bloodthirsty Adversary, who is going to be a 2 CMC cost, 1 colorless and 1 red. She is a creature vampire with haste. When she enters the battlefield, you may pay 2 in a red any number of times. When you pay this cost 1 or more times, put that many counters on Bloodthirsty Adversary. Then exile up to that many target instants and sorcery cards with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard and copy them. You may cast any number of these copies without paying their mana cost. Guys, that is a lot of text for a card.
It is a lot.
A lot of text for a card, guys. Like, she's got a paragraph going on. But all good things. All good things. All good things, I think.
Now that I read it again, I don't like the cost of her ability, making you pay 3 for every time, because that's going to get very expensive for you.
That is going to get very expensive for you. Maybe, I know. I mean, I was going to say, maybe if there was ways you could shorten that cost, or maybe you would have, a good amount of mana on the board. But red is not known for ramping that hard.
Because think of just doing it twice. You're sitting there at paying 8 mana.
Exactly.
That's very high.
That's very high. And I mean, yeah, she has the 1/1 counter ability that's going to boost her up and just
get 2 free spells from
exactly. But is it warranted for 8 mana though? Is it warranted? In my book, it's not. Not when I'm playing red, because I just feel like there's so much more I can do with red in 8 mana than just, get a few instant sorcery back from the graveyard,
We'll see. Well, I mean, we'll have to give this card time. It might find its home somewhere, but it's definitely not as good as the other adversaries that we've seen so far.
Yes, definitely not as good as the other ones we've seen in the other colors, most definitely. Moving on, guys, we have the Brimstone Vandal. He's going to be 2 colors and 1 red. He's a devil creature with menace. If it's neither day nor night, it becomes day. If Brimstone Vandal enters the battlefield, whenever day becomes night or night becomes day, Brimstone Vandal deals 1 damage to each opponent. So, I'm not going to say I like this guy. Only because he's dealing 1 damage to each opponent. Each time it changes from day to night. That's going to come in handy with as many times as the game, is probably going to switch if we're running this mechanic.
And like I said, I'm like, this won't be as relevant in Standard because not as many spells are played. But in Commander, like I said, these are going to be going back and forth. And each one of these day or night cards, they start day or night as soon as they enter the battlefield. So that's really good.
Really good. And I mean, of course, it has menace, which I freaking love. I love creatures now with menace because being able to swing out an opponent, especially early game, and they only have 1 creature on the board, gosh, you're getting through. You're getting through and you're dealing some damage. And there's no quicker way to speed up a game than dealing some early more damage. Most definitely. Moving on, guys, we got Burn Down the House. I love the name of this card. This is cool. It's a 3 colorless 2 red to drop is a sorcery that says burn down the house, does 5 damage to each creature and each planeswalker, and then it has a secondary ability that says create 3 1/1 red devil creature tokens with when this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. They gain haste until the end of turn. So this is it's a sorcery for red, and I have to say, if I had to choose one, I would probably choose the first one.
I feel like it's going to be chosen for the board wipe more than likely as well.
Yes.
I feel like most casts you'll see it as a board wipe, and they probably even hold it as a board wipe. I don't see them casting it early if they don't have any creatures on the board just to get 3 1/1 devils.
Yeah, it's not worth it. It's not worth that. It's not worth that. Like, guys, it's definitely
for
worth
5
it.
mana, you get 3 1/1s.
Yeah. So definitely, if you're going to cast this card, you're casting it for that first ability. That 5 calls for 5 damage to everything on the board, just to clean it up. Make it free of anything. Yes, definitely going to be a good card. I like the name of it, man. I love the artwork, the whole aesthetic of it as a whole. I like it.
I think this is a card that we'll see Standard play.
Oh,
just because it's a 5 board wipe. 5 drop board wipe.
And guys, I'll see it in Commander as well, because I mean, it's red board wipe, 5 costs, that's it. And you can just wipe the whole entire field of any and everything. Oh, yes. I would definitely see this card in Commander.
And even hits Planeswalkers.
Yeah, even, which is normally they're like your non-touchables unless you're dealing some direct going on. Moving on, we got Burn the Accursed. It's going to be 4 colorless and a red. It says an instant. Burn the Accursed deals 5 damage to target creature and 2 damage to that creature's controller. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. So this is another kill spell. That's an instant for red. And we tend to see them a lot where, you get these little almost like bolt damage to creatures and, controllers alike. I don't know if I like it.
The cost is way too steep for me.
Yes, that's the reason why I don't like it as much, because the cost is literally 5. And, we just saw a card burn down the house that, it kills everything when you play 5. And this card's only killing 1 thing. Like, literally
and
1
it deals 2 damage, so it's an added-on shock.
Yeah.
You can exile the creature. So it's basically you paying 4 mana to deal 5 damage to a creature and then 1 red to deal 2 damage to a player.
Yes.
That's where the shock comes in at. And, I just way too steep of a mana cost for it.
It is.
I feel like it would be much more, it would have cost a lot, or it's a much more playable card if it was costed around to the, it'd probably be too good if it was at 3, but maybe around the 4-ish range. But even if putting a good burn spell that can kill creatures to a little bit of damage at 3, it's not bad.
It's not. If it was 3, I would see playing it. If it was 3, like if it was 2 colorless and a red, or if it was 3 red, I wouldn't mind playing it then to, kill one creature and then bolt my opponent for 2, but I'm not paying 5 to do
5
this
is almost
ability.
unplayable or a sideboard card.
Exactly. Like I just would not pass. I will pass it, guys. I will pass it up. I will pass it up. Next up, we have Cathartic Pirate, and it's going to be 1 colorless, 1 red. It's an instant. When it hits the board, it deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. And its second ability is discard up to 2 cards, then draw that many cards. So it's another instant. It's got another whole bolt ability too when it does to a creature. I'm going to tell you that's not the one I'm going to choose if I do play this card. I would definitely go with the secondary option, which is discard up 2 cards, then draw that many cards. That's going to give you more value, in my opinion, compared to dealing the 3 damage to a target creature or planeswalker. Because let's be honest, guys, you're not going to get that much value out of destroying 1 creature with 3 damage. And heck, it depends if your opponent even has a creature that is 3 power or less on the board to mention that. And I mean, we've seen a lot of undead zombies and stuff that somebody could play, but what good is it they're going to get rid of 1 zombie with decay when that person has 5, 6, 7, 8?
They just play another 1-drop spell.
Exactly. They got that same zombie right back. So this card, especially if you're playing up against people who are using cards from this set, is not going to be that great for that first ability. But that second ability can help out. It has value. I mean, you can get rid of 2 things you don't need, and you can draw 2 things that hopefully might just help you change the game. What do you think, RCK?
It's not that good.
It's like, I don't like it.
Maybe it'd be more playable in standard if it had deal 3 damage to any target, not just creatures in planeswalkers. You can deal it to a player as well. Maybe it would add a little bit of value to it, but yeah, I don't particularly like it as well. So we're gonna go on to the next one. We look at Curse of the Shaken Faith. This is a curse. You enchant a player. Whenever an enchanted player casts a spell other than the first spell they cast each turn, or copies a spell, Curse of the Shaken deals 2 damage to them. What do you think about this, Waffles?
I am not a fan of this too much. I like the fact that it's another curse card because it's good to see curse cards starting to make more of an appearance now because we don't have a lot of curse cards in Magic. So it's good to know that they're starting to pop up a little bit more with this in particular set.
I can see what players this is going to hurt already, and this is going to be Spellslinger decks and Storm players.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to be get damage on the first spell, but after that, every time they're going to get hit for 2. That's going to be a lot of value you can get out of that if they're that kind of deck for sure.
Oh, yeah. Like, if you are Spellslinger hard, this is a card you definitely want to look out for because this is something that's going to hurt.
If a Storm player's playing, they would die.
They would die from this. They would have to counter this as soon as it was played, or they would need to do something that would remove it from the table because otherwise it shuts down their entire process of playing their deck. It would kill them instantly as soon as they use it a couple times. So this is definitely good against those type of players if you have them in your play group and you know them playing it. Like I know myself, like when I was playing my Melic deck, like this right here would hurt me.
It should hurt me bad.
It hurt me bad. It hurt me bad, boss. I wouldn't be able to do this shit. This was on the board. I couldn't do it at all. So this card scares me just a little bit. But, only if I'm playing that deck. Otherwise, I wouldn't have any problem if it was played. But definitely if I was playing like Melic, I would be worried about something like this. Moving on, guys, we have Electric Revelation. It's going to be a 2 colorless, 1 red. It's an instant. Says there's an additional cost, cast a spell, discard a card. You draw 2 cards. And it has flashback. So once again, we have another instant card that's letting you draw 2 cards as long as you discard 1. I don't have a problem with this, but
if it was costed at 2 for the first part and then 3 for the flashback, I'd like it.
Then I would like it too. I just don't want to pay 3 and then I have to discard a card to draw.
Because it's not card advantage, this is card cycling.
It is.
Because you have to use this card and discard a card. So that's 2 cards, and then you're only drawing 2 cards. So you're just replacing 2 cards.
You're just replacing 2 cards. That's it, guys. And the flashback is great.
The flashback, flashback, you will get card advantage because at that point you're playing this from a graveyard.
Yes.
And then you're discarding a card, and then you go up 2. So you will technically go up 1 in cards, but
it ain't worth it.
I don't like it.
It's not worth it, guys. I would move past that one.
Well, it being an instant actually isn't that bad.
It's
because
not.
you're doing it on someone's instep.
If you choose to play it on someone's instead, which is
Yeah.
basically the best time to play it. I would definitely not play it like,
Not during your turn, no.
No, definitely not. Don't play it.
Don't waste your time.
Don't waste it. It's a waste of good mana. My friend wastes a good mana. Next up, we have Faulkner Perfector. It's going to be a one colorless, one red, and when she enters the battlefield, no, actually, no. Whenever she attacks guys, she deals 1 damage to the defending
This is
player.
going to be one of those red aggro cards.
Yeah, like this is an aggressive card. Definitely.
If we see any red aggro decks, which there are normally, you will see red aggro decks in standard from time to time. I mean, just because they're pretty good. I mean, they do what they're meant to do.
They do what they're meant to do, man. They get in there and they start swinging.
Yeah, and if they run out of gas, that's when they get in trouble. But this card is you're making sure you deal damage on top of attacking at the same time. So always, I mean, it's what red wants to do.
Which is good because I mean, honestly, you think about it. Even if she, runs into some complications where somebody might, bounce their card or remove the card before you're actually able to kill it and strike. I mean, either way, they're going to get dealt 1 damage because she's attacking them. They're going to get dealt 1 damage. So either way, you're dealing something to that opponent, regardless if she makes it through with her attack or she doesn't. Moving on, we got her trusty companion, Faulkner Pit Fighter. Is going to be 1 red. When it hits the battlefield, it has an ability that says discard a card, sacrifice a vampire, draw 2 cards, activate only if an opponent's lost life this turn.
So this is basically a 2 for 2.
It is a 2 for 2.
So you're just cycling in because you have to sacrifice a creature, not unless you're sacrificing a token zombie or something like that. And then you have to discard a card. So there's 2, and then you just draw 2. So it's like,
I ain't a fan of it.
Yeah, me neither.
Definitely.
But what is good about it is a 1-drop 2/1.
That, and honestly, that's what I'm saying. That is the one positive. Like I was, part of me was honestly like, you know what, I will put it in my deck only because it would be nice to pay 1 red and have a 2-drop.
And then have on turn 2 have a 2/1 swinging.
Exactly. Because most people, I mean, I know they're not going to have many, creatures out on the board real early game, or honestly, some I know we go maybe like 2, maybe 3 turns before they even have a creature out because they're too busy ramping.
And like I said, the early red aggro.
Yes. Most definitely. Next, we have Famished Foragers, who's going to be 3 colorless and a red. She's a creature vampire. When she enters the battlefield, an opponent lost life this turn. Add 3 red mana. She also has a secondary ability where it's 2 colorless and a red. Discard a card, draw a card. So, I'm not. Okay, so what I don't like about this card is the fact that this ability only triggers when she enters the battlefield.
But the opponent has to have lost life this turn. So this is second main phase or instant speed damage.
Exactly. And that's the thing about it that I'm not a huge fan of.
But if you are able to activate that, she is a 4/3 for 1 mana.
She is. Because, guys, you'll be getting 3 red mana back.
So it could be strong, especially in a red deck, as a top-end card, maybe, unless you had some better cards to go there. And as soon as you get that red mana, you can cycle a card. You can use that red mana to play something else. So there's really no telling.
But do understand, guys, that you will have to. The best time to trigger her will be definitely your second main phase. Would definitely not do it beforehand because you want the opponent to make sure they lost life this turn. But I don't know if you play this in a multiplayer game, though. I mean, would it technically matter as much? Because, I mean, you have an easier time. I think you have an easier time seeing her come out and say, like, a 4-player commander game than you would,
What I do like with these 3 cards, 3 vampires that we see right here, is the mana curve. The 1-drop Pit Fighter, followed by the 2-drop Faulkner Perfector, followed by whatever 3-drop you might have, into a 4-drop Famished Foragers, because I'm sure you'll still be dealing damage with the previous vampires you cast that turn.
Oh, yes.
And they have a nice mana curve with the synergy that they have going here.
Yeah, they do. I mean, let's think about it, guys. I mean,
all you have to do is
Perforator.
attack.
Yeah, I was just about to say, you attack with Perforator, she's going to do 1 damage to your opponent, and then after that, you can bring Famished Foragers right out, and you're going to get 3 mana from it.
You got a 1-drop for
Hey, that's another little combo when you think about it, ain't it?
And they're all vampires, so they synergize great.
Yes.
There might be.
I'm about to say definitely for what's our old boy who's
Edgar.
Yes, Edgar Markov is
He's expensive. He's expensive.
He's expensive as heck, guys.
I got
definitely, but you're lucky about it. He's expensive as heck, but best believe these are the type of cards you want to kind of see in those type of decks if you do choose to run them, guys, because they synergize beyond words. Moving on, we have Festival Crashers. It's going to be 1 colorless and a red. It's going to be a creature devil whenever you cast an instant or a sorcery spell, it gets +2/+0 until the end of the turn. Very basic card, guys. I don't really have much to say on this card. I kind of like the art a little bit, but you know,
think of the ceiling with this card though.
Yeah.
I mean, cast 1, cast 2, cast 3. Okay, now he's +6/+0, and so he's a 7/3 body.
Well,
and a 2-drop. This is basically a.
So basically,
what is it called? It's a red creature. It's like some kind of fiend. Every time you cast an instant sorcery, it gets +3/+0, and it's a 1/2. God, what is it? I don't remember, but they play it in like those little storm decks or spell slinger decks, and they just grow exponentially.
I was say, yeah, it's gonna be good for
turn.
a storm and spell slinger deck, definitely, because I mean, you know, if you're casting 2 or 3 instances or sorceries around, then I mean, you could easily get this thing up to the type of, you know, power and toughness you're talking about. But I mean, you just got to play those instances sorceries like that, though. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
And you remember these are not counters too.
Like this is an aggro card.
This is the aggro card. This is the aggro card.
You play it along with spells, swinging in.
Yep.
Your 2-drops is turned into a 3/3 at least, if not higher, and you're also dealing damage with your spells. So
yeah. It's definitely going to be an on the move type card.
It puts people on a clock.
It does. It's definitely an on the move type card. Next up is God's Flame Reservoir. 2 colors in a red. It's our first artifact I've seen in this going on. It says whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, put a charge counter on Gas Flame Reservoir. Then you have the ability that is 1 color that's 1 red, remove any number of charge counters from the reservoir. It deals that much damage to any target. And the second one is exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. I like the secondary ability.
I do like the secondary ability.
I'm just going to go ahead and say, I like that one over the first one.
It gives you card advantage.
It does give you card advantage. It does. I don't have a problem with this card. It's not bad for a 3-drop.
Well, the second ability gives you an out if it goes late game.
If it does go late game, it gives you
because you play it on turn 3, so you play a couple of spells. It's sitting at 3, 4, maybe 5 counters on it. You've been doing the exile top card, getting extra cards every turn, so you're basically drawing 2. You have access to 2 cards every turn. And then, okay, well, you're sitting at pretty low life total. I'm out of gas. Let me remove 5 counters, deal 5 damage to any target. Good game.
Good game. Good game. And I mean, you think about it, guys, it's not going to take long to get those charge counters up, casting instant and sorcery spells, because we've seen flashback like hell going out through this, you know, entire review. So, I mean, you think you cast it one time and then you're paying for that flashback.
Cards.
Hey, cycle through, guys. Cycle through, get those charge counters up so you can pop this sucker. I love the fact it's called a gas flame reservoir. It makes me think of Ether Flux just a little bit. Just a little bit. Moving on, we have Immolation, which is going to be 1 red. It's an enchantment aura. It says enchanted creature gets +2, -2. So this is just your typical aura, guys. It's going to boost your creature up. You tend to see these type of cards in green a lot.
Well, you don't see the -2 part.
Well, not the -2. The -2 is kind of strange.
That's more of a red thing.
Yeah,
red or black.
Like, it's always what you sacrifice some toughness or something for the increase in power when it comes to red and black. But definitely a casual card that you know you see from time to time in some type of iteration.
But it does have utility.
You
can use it to either increase the power of your creature as long as they can take that toughness taken away from them. But it's also a kill spell.
Really?
I mean, any 1 or 2 drops, it might be either at 1/1s or 2/1s. You can attach this onto opponent's creature, give them -2, and good, it's gone.
Gone. Yeah.
So it does have utility.
It does. Depends on the way you use it, I guess. Depends on the way you use it. I don't see myself running it, guys.
I don't either. I mean, I don't play standard all that much. I really don't play standard, and it's been a long time since I have.
This is what I deal with, guys.
But I wouldn't play red deck.
This is what I deal with.
I play a black-blue deck.
He spends 5 minutes discussing why he thinks it's a good card or a decent card and why it has value. But he's like, yeah,
we're on to the next one.
We have Lamort Harrier. She's going to be a 1 colors, 1 red creature wolf. It says 3 colors red. Target creature can't block this turn. She's going to be a 2/2. I don't think I would run this, guys. I really don't like the fact you have to pay 4 just to target 1 creature to block this turn.
That's pretty expensive.
That's way expensive. Like, that's just ridiculous. And, I mean, I like the fact she's a 2-drop 2/2.
If you don't have anything better to do, I guess you can do that.
Yeah, if you ain't got nothing else better to do, you just got mana to waste. Then yeah, sure, go for it. Moving on, guys, we have Light Up the Night, another card that I like the name for. It's a X in
It's got
red.
Chandra.
Yeah, it says Light Up the Night deals X damage to any target. It deals X plus 1 damage instead if that target is a creature or planeswalker. And it comes with flashback. It says remove X loyalty counters from among planeswalkers you control. If you cast the spell this way, X can't be 0. So this is kind of an interesting sorcery card in my opinion.
It's just a damage dealer.
It is just a damage dealer.
Not accelerates, but kind of grows as the game goes on because you have access to more mana for sure.
Yeah.
So it could be good early game to get rid of those small aggro creatures, and good late game to close it out when you're sitting there. If you're mana flooded and you just have tons of lands and mana do, and you draw top deck this, you don't have any cards in hand. We max it out.
Yeah, you're good. It's also a good card, guys, too, because I mean you can target planeswalkers with this. I mean any cards that let you target planeswalkers. I know they don't get played.
Or you can hit players too.
But yeah, exactly. You can hit planeswalkers or players with this. So I mean, you look at that and it gives it more value than just the base stuff we covered. So just it's not a bad card to pick up in my opinion. Not for red. It's not a bad card. It can be a game ender in late at least. Moving on, we have Lunar Frenzy. It's going to be another X red card. It's kind of interesting to see another one pop up so quick. It's going to be an instant. Says target creature you control gets X plus and then plus 0 and gains first strike and trample until end of turn.
It's kind of one of those gotcha cards.
Yeah, it is a gotcha
It's something
card.
You're going to trick somebody with
It's
one
a trap
time,
card,
and they'll remember it next time.
Yeah, it's a trap card.
Like,
Most definitely.
We haven't tapped anything yet.
Exactly. It's like, what are you up to? And then, you know, you just like, gotcha, trap for Lunar Frenzy.
They're attacking with their 1/1.
Exactly.
Like,
Make my trap card. That's what it is, guys. Most definitely. Moving on, we have Moonrager's Slash. It's going to be 2 colors, 1 red. Instant. This spell costs 2 less cast if it's night. Moonrager Slash deals 3 damage to any target.
I like this.
So I like the fact that, you know, it can honestly be a 1 red, you know, deal 3 damage to any target. This includes a player as well.
It's basically a lightning bolt
at
nighttime.
At nighttime. And for that aspect, I think it's kind of cool just to know that it's a lightning bolt at nighttime that could be just 1 red. I mean, you never know when that can come in handy, whether it be get rid of a creature or honestly in late game, it can definitely might win you the game depending on the person's life total. Next up, guys, we have Moonveil Regent, our first dragon. Unfortunately, it's gonna be 3 colors in a red, guys. Flying. Whenever you cast a spell, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw a card for each of that spell's color. When Moonveil Regent dies, it deals X damage to any target where X is the number of colors among permanents you control. Woo! So you're running a multicolored deck. Wouldn't this
Very interesting?
Yeah, like if you're running a multicolored deck, this would
But I will say a 4 mana 4/4 flyer is already good.
It is.
In the standard draft, I forget what the other formats are called at the moment. But even then, I mean, if you're out of cards, you're at 1 mana. Okay, you draw a red spell, you play it. You don't have a hand anyway. You're already hell-bent, of course. So you're going to draw a card for that red card that you just get. So you get another card. Okay, well, maybe I can play that card too. So I play it. Well, I just played a red card so I can discard my hand, draw a card. So I'll draw another card. Hopefully it's another 1 or 2. Maybe you can keep going.
Maybe you could.
As long as you're not drawing a land card, you can keep dropping.
If you draw a land card, though, that is gonna queue up.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be a multi. I mean, it's better if it's a multicolored deck.
It's better in my opinion if it's a multicolored deck.
But it will keep you going in red.
Yeah.
So maybe it will have value in a mono red deck.
And just don't forget though, you just got to make sure when you're constantly drawing these cards in order to keep that going, you're gonna have to be able to cast those spells, whatever it is. That's just gonna be the ticket too.
Yes, I think those mono red aggro decks are gonna be low. Probably that 4 is gonna be the highest card cost in there.
It is. This is true.
And you could probably be running 4 of them.
Yep, because red is known for having low CMC cost cards like Bolt and what's another one? Shock. Yeah. So yeah.
Maybe if you chain 2 or 3 of them together, I mean that's drawing 2 or 3 cards a turn and casting. That's a lot.
That's a lot. Moving on, guys, we have Mounted Dreadnought. He's going to be 4 colors, 1 red, creature, vampire knight, trample. Enters the battlefield with 1/1 count on it if an opponent lost life this turn. So once again, this is a playback to the cards we saw earlier with the Falcon Wrath vampires. I mean, you know, if we got one that's swinging out and dealing 1 damage just for swinging, I mean, you can pretty much bring him out and give him a 1/1 counter.
So
he's a 5/4.
He's going to be your 5 drop on the curve. He's going to be on the higher end because we saw the 1 drop, the 2 drop, the 4 drop. Now we have our 5 drop. And honestly enough, you can use Moonrager Slash as your 3 drop.
You could.
That's a hell of a curve, but I mean that dragon still looks very nice to me. But he does synergize well with the rest of the vampires.
Yes, he does.
He will turn into a 6/5 trampler for 5. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good.
So
I definitely think he's one to pick up if you're going to be running a vampire deck, guys. Definitely one to pick up. We have Neonate's Rush up next. It's going to be 2 colors, 1 red, instant. This spell costs 1 less cast if you control a vampire. Like I said before, if you're running a vampire deck, guys, start taking a look at these cards because these cards are vampire synergizing hard. Well, continuing on, she says deals 1 damage to target creature and 1 damage to its controller, and you draw a card. So straight off the bat, you get to draw a card. That's the first thing I always like to hear.
Mm-hmm.
But, she's going to cost 1 less to cast if you control vampires. And I mean, like we just said before.
2, not bad.
You could honestly prop this down to just 1 red. 1 red to draw a card, and, you deal 1 damage to 1 creature and 1 to its controller. I mean, it's not technically bad. I think it's best used if you're able to get that cost down to nothing but red mana.
Maybe if it was 2 mana and it cost him 1 less if you control a vampire, it would be more playable.
Yeah.
Because 2 is still like, really? You just get to really just deal 1 damage to a creature. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean the creature dies. And you deal 1 damage to control it and you get to draw. 1 damage. But you get to change this card out, though.
You do. It's an okay card, guys, but I think it only, honestly, is going to be good, in my personal opinion, if you're able to cast it for just 1 red mana. I mean, the damage part, I don't really look at too much because you're not really going to kill too many things just dealing 1 damage to them. But if you were able to pay 1 red mana to draw 1 card, you never know what you might get. But it's definitely not a card I think I see myself picking up. I think I would be skipping it.
So let's go ahead on to the next one. Next we have the Obsessive Astronomer.
You failed that one hard, I see.
If it's neither day or night, it becomes day. An Obsessive Astronomer. And I know what the word is. I just can't say it. Enters the battlefield. Whenever day becomes night or night becomes day, discard up 2 cards and draw that many cards. And we saw this ability with a blue card just recently.
We did.
So we might be seeing a blue,
don't say
red,
it. Don't say it.
Spellslinger deck.
Oh.
Because with the that devil would work with it. Your cycling cards, your drawing cards.
Yeah. This is true.
Might be something we might see.
The makings are in place.
And this is just a 2-drop.
This is just a 2-drop. The makings are in place. I will say, it's an interesting card. I like it myself.
Being a Spellslinger, you're able to turn it back day and night pretty easy.
Pretty quickly. I mean, it's not going to take much.
What was it? If you want to switch the days, like no spells are cast or something?
No spells are cast.
So you don't cast any spells in your turn. All your cards are instants and sorceries anyway.
Yeah. Exactly. You want to keep, because you're there to, do a lot of damage on your opponent's turn rather than
So you can choose to turn it back, and then on their turn, you can cast their spells. Not only are they casting spells, you'll also be casting spells on their turn.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, it's going to turn back night. You're going to get all the value of drawing cards, cycling cards. It's very interesting.
It is. Next up, guys, we have Pax Betrayal. It's going to be 2 colors and a red. It's a sorcery. Gain control of target creature until the end of turn. Untap that creature. It gains haste until the end of turn. If you control a wolf or werewolf, scry 2. So, off the bat, I like this card because you get to steal from somebody.
Yeah.
And you get to untap it and give it haste until the end of the turn. I mean, that alone, this is a 3 calls, guys, and you can steal somebody's creature. At least to the end of the turn. And I mean, you think, like, we've already seen cards where you can steal somebody's creature, sacrifice said creature, killing it, of course, for whatever needs you may have. And already you're getting rid of an opponent's creature. Or you can take the chance and swing back on that same person with the creature you just stole from them. But on top of that, if you have a wolf or werewolf out, you get to scry too, man. If you're running wolves and werewolf, and I mean, guys, I'm sorry, but given this set, you got to be running a wolf or werewolf at some point. Got to be running one.
And something I did not mention before about the Astronomer is that the other spell, remember it was day or night, whenever it was nighttime, it was basically a bolt.
Yeah,
and you'll be able to go back and forth, getting back. Like, there's so much value of that, and just this I feel like they did a very good job on this day and night cycle here for this,
They
and they had so many cards that synergizes well within the set. Because sometimes you'll see them come out with a new set and they just fall short.
They do. Moving on, guys, we have Play with Fire. It's going to be a red drop. Play with Fire deals 2 damage to any target if the player is dealt damage this turn. This way, scry 1. So it's basically,
Yes.
shock. It's a shock
Yes.
card. Let's
Good
shock
card.
let's shock the fuck out of them, and then we'll scry 1. Let's do it.
Good card for all the synergy in the day and night cycle. You go 1 mana instant spell. It's basically a 1 mana shock.
Yep.
It's basically a shock
Yep.
that you get the extra value of scrying 1. So this is definitely a better shock. If you
It
ever
is.
played shock or anything, this is better.
This is better. It's definitely better. It's definitely one of those cards where if you would switch it out with shock, to be honest. Because, for that added value of being able to scry 1, definitely switch it out. Moving on, guys, we have Purifying Dragon. He's going to be 3 colors, 2 red. He has flying. Whenever he attacks, it deals 1 damage to target creature defending player controls. If that creature is a zombie, Purifying Dragon deals 2 damage to it instead. So this little motherfucker. This is why I hate dragons, guys. He is literally designed to clean up zombies.
It's so weird to see dragons in this set because I don't think any dragons ever been an Innistrad set before.
RCK.
I don't like them either. But I promise you, our friends, they fucking love dragons.
They love
That's
dragons.
the dragon deck after dragon deck after
worship
dragon deck.
by
And I'm like,
dragons.
guys, there's so many cards in this game.
I despise dragons so much. So this gets nothing but immediate hate from me. And it even focuses on cleaning up zombies, which I'm starting to have a love for.
Like, I'm not saying dragons are bad.
No,
It's
I
just
know these guys. We're not saying
dragons, like, there's so
Like,
many other things you can do. There's
dragons-
so many cards, and
dragons-
you pick dragons.
dragons are fucking OP. I don't like them.
And it's like when people have a dragon deck, they're like all the same dragon.
Yeah, they are.
Because-
And they oftentimes have the same initial, mindset goal when they're running dragons. It's always, let's get more dragons out. Let's get bigger dragons out. And then let's do things that's going to cause damage alongside of us attacking or swinging out.
Like, I don't know what y'all doing, but I'm trying to win.
Exactly. Moving on, guys, we have Raise the Effigy, and it is an instant card for 1 red. It says destroy target artifact, or you can choose target attacking creature gets +2/+2 until the end of turn. So on one hand is an artifact destroyer, and on the other hand it can be played as a trap card, guys.
Yes, very true. Not only is it a trap card, it's almost like a shock because you're adding 2 extra damage to a creature that's attacking it. If they don't have any blockers, that's just 2 extra damage added on.
It is.
It's going to add to your kind of storm, changing day or night, and it does have the extra utility of killing an artifact.
It does.
Always good.
Always good. Always good. Moving on, guys, we have Seize the Storm. It's going to be a 4 colorless, 1 red sorcery. It says create a red elemental creature token with trample, and this creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard, plus the number of cards with flashbacks you own in exile.
I'm telling you, they're trying to make a blue-red Spellslinger deck.
They are because they are pushing flashback.
This is the top. This is the top end.
And it is the top end. I love the artwork on it. Got a lot of crazy looking stuff going on. It looks cool as all get out, guys.
Because more than likely, by the time you get to playing this 5-drop, you'll probably have 4, 5, 6 instant sorceries in your graveyard.
Oh yeah.
And then having a flashback ability on it too, so you
What?
get making a 4-4 or 5-5 or a 5-5 or a 6-6.
And let's be honest, guys. We're in the far end of this game, and we're playing Seize the Storm. There's a good chance we've already put some flashback cards in the exile, so you're going to get credit off of those cards too. It's just one of those things that's a guarantee. So altogether, this is a good card. I like this card.
I do
Seize
too.
the Storm. Love the name too. Moving on, we have Stolen Vitality. It's going to be 1 colorless, 1 red. It's the instant that says target creature gets +3/+1 until the end of turn. If it's your turn, that creature gains trample until the end of turn. Otherwise, it gains first strike.
Something I just read about that card again. It says power and toughness are each equal to the number of instants and sorcery cards in your graveyard, plus the number of cards with flashback.
Yeah.
Are they added twice if they're instant in the flashback card, or does it just have like? I don't know.
I don't know about that one.
That's odd. We'll have to check that. Fact check that.
I don't know, because I feel like that
Because
was the case.
Because it says that, and then it says plus the number of cards with flashback you own. Oh, own in exile. Oh,
on in exile.
never mind. I'm retarded. Never mind. I was counting I was thinking if they were counting twice. I was like, why would they count the cards in the graveyard while also counting flashback cards in the graveyard?
No.
But they're counting the ones in exile. Okay, so you're still getting value from exiling because I thought it was kind of like not synergized well because you have a lot of cards with flashback, and then exile you're just losing value on your Seas of Storm. But no, they do continue. That's my. I read it incorrectly.
You mess it up, RC. You mess it up.
Well, Full on Vitality isn't that good of a card, so we'll just skip it anyway. Okay, so Sunstreak Phoenix.
Sunstreak Phoenix, guys. It's going to be 2 colors, 2 red. It's going to be flying. It's neither day nor night. It becomes day as Sunstreak Phoenix enters the battlefield. Whenever day becomes night or night becomes day, you may pay 1 colorless and red. If you do, return Storm.
They are working on that aggro red deck.
They are working on it hard. And it comes back to the battlefield, tapped when it goes to the graveyard. I mean, it returns from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped.
But either way, you're able to get back a 4/2 with Swami.
You able to get it back.
And if they kill it, you can bring it back again.
You can bring it back again.
That's why those cards, like a black card where it exiled the creature, that's why cards like that are so good.
Yeah, it is. You talking about Eating Alive?
Yes, Eating Alive.
Eating Alive, yeah. Next up, guys, is Thermo Alchemist. He's going to be 1 color, 1 red. He's a human shaman defender. When you tap him, he deals 1 damage to each opponent. Whenever you cast this from sorcery spell, untap Thermo Alchemist.
Spellslinger deck. And he's also a reprint.
Storm. Oh, really?
Yeah, we've had him.
Oh, yeah,
you've seen him.
Yeah. I didn't. I thought I'd seen this guy from somewhere because I remember the artwork a little bit. Moving on, guys, we have Boulder and Ambusher. He's going to be 2 colorless and a red. He is a vampire archer. When he enters the battlefield, if an opponent lost life this turn, it deals X damage up to 1 target creature or planeswalker, where X is the number of vampires you control.
And here is your 3-drop for your vampire curve.
Yes.
You have a 1-drop, a 2-drop, a 3-drop, a 4-drop, and a 5-drop.
And they're all vampires. Yep.
And they curve very nicely, and they all synergize well.
They all synergize well. I'm telling you guys, either you're making a spell slinger here, a red aggro, or you're running a vampire synergy deck. Like these are the options you can go with these red cards because they're hitting hard in those fronts. They are. Our last card for the whole entire review on red, guys, is going to be Boulder and Stinger. She's a 1 red drop. She has first strike as long as it's attacking, and she has a secondary ability where you pay 2 colors in the red, gets +2/+0 until end of turn.
Just adding to your vampire aggro.
Yeah.
Or any red aggro in that case.
Just adding in, most definitely, and at least she has first strike as long as she's striking, attacking. So, I mean, first strike always helps as far as just, getting through. And, I don't know, man. With all these red cards, I mean, I'm not going to lie. It's making me, especially with the vampires.
Red's looking good.
Red's looking good. And I honestly might be interested in trying out some red combinations now with these cards. I might have to give it a shot. Or at least maybe I might need to refurbish old Melik and get him back out on the field.
Yeah, definitely.
I might need to do that.
You need to work on him.
I need to work on him. Maybe I'll start throwing some of these in here like Seize the Storm. I think it might come out well. Well, RCK, you want to take us out, my friend?
All right, guys, this is the end of the episode. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to leave some comments, guys. We want to know what you think about certain cards, if you think about using them, and have a good one. We'll see you on the next one.
Take it easy, guys. Peace out.